The bebecita is here right now. So she is actually turning 1 week today. A week, a week. Imagine it went by fast. This week with her, she's getting her schedule. She's getting into a schedule where I like it. She's waking up at 1, around like 2, sleeps again, and then wakes up like around 5. If not, it's around 4 or 5. The latest is 6. The latest. And after that, she just stays awake for around an hour or two, sleeps, eats again, and sleeps. And right now she's sleeping. She already ate, and she's gonna be sleeping for quite time. And she's gonna wake up in the afternoon around. Right now it's in the afternoon already. Say 12, 12 something. But around, I want to say like 3, at 2, 3, around in the afternoon, she is super awake, like super awake, alert of what's going around. So I wanted to come and tell a little bit my story and how was the labor and delivery due to not recording. I normally don't record my labor and delivery. I just took pictures of her newborn, and that's it. Like, and that was all I recorded. I didn't record it except in TikTok. I did record like 2 videos in the hospital. The when I was going home, and the other one that was hugging her like a newborn one. Like she was just, it was just hours that she was born. So my labor and delivery went super well. I started having some contractions. Monday. You could say Monday, but on Monday I was having them like some normal contractions I used to have. Like I always used to have them like every 10 minutes apart. I went to the hospital. What was it? One time, I think. One time, not 2 times. Two. It was one time, just one time for some having some contractions like that, and they just sent me back. They're like, "No, you have to go back," and I was like, "Okay." It was actually a week before she was born that I went to the hospital, and they sent me back home. They're like, "No, you're dilated at 3. You're barely gonna start labor, but not actually labor." So I was like, okay then. Then I don't want to go to the hospital Monday, so I went on Monday to my OB doctor, and they told me like, oh, you're still at 3. I was like, doctor, I'm gonna be at 3 for a long time, and because I kept telling them like at 3, I'm gonna be at 3 for a long time. Well, I don't know what helped that I had this baby so quick. So I had her. She burped. I had her on Tuesday midnight. I started having some contractions really bad, like super bad. Around 4, no, sorry, around 4, around 1 midnight, 1 at midnight, I started having some really bad contractions that I was not, used to it, except the 10-minute part. That I was used to that already. But I was having them every 3, 4, 5 minutes. That's why I was having them 3, 4, 5 minutes, and she's waking up. You waking up, Mama? You wanna eat more? Are you hearing me? Tell your story. So I started having contractions at 1, and at 1, I woke up our mom. I was like, hey, wake up. We need to go to the hospital, I think, because I'm starting to have super bad contractions where I used to get the pillow and I used to squish the pillow. I just wanted to take out air from the pillow like the most I can. Every time that contraction used to come, that was the worst thing. So after having like after back to back for some minutes, I want to say like 20 minutes. I waited like 20 minutes, to be honest. It was at 1 and we didn't leave the house to go to the hospital around 2. So I went and dropped off my kids, Jack and Johnny, the ones that you guys already know on the videos. I went to drop them off. I know. I went to drop them off with my sister, and I was thinking not dropping them off because I thought they were gonna send me back. I was like, and I turned around like, hopefully they don't send me back. There were some breaks where I could talk, and I turned around like, hopefully they don't send us back, because if they send us back, it's gonna be so disappointed. Having this much of pain and sending us back is gonna be like, wow. So induction day was scheduled for Wednesday, and she came on Tuesday. So she's like, I better come out because they're gonna take me out on Wednesday. I don't want to come on Wednesday. I love Tuesday. So on Tuesday, we left the hospital at 2. I got there at 2:30, 2:40, 2:30, 2:40, around that time. They checked me in around almost 3, not 3, almost 3. They passed me to a room where they were checking my contractions. They were like, oh yes, you're in labor already. You're having them super super close together. I was about to start crying by myself. They didn't let me go inside the first room until the labor and delivery room that I made it to the hospital already. So in that room I was by myself. I undressed myself from the waist down, and then like, oh yeah, undress yourself like the top part too. And I was like, okay. So I undressed myself from the top, bottom. I was already undressed, and I was having really bad, contractions. I was like, I used to not ignore, but I used to like turn up my face around like to this side, left side, instead of the right side, because the doctor was on the right side. So, or not the nurse. So I used to turn myself to the left side and used to ignore the doctor a lot. I was like having back-to-back contractions. After that, they checked my cervix. They're like, oh, guess what? You're at 6. And I was like, 6? Less than 12 hours I was with my OB doctor. And the OB doctor told me I was at 3, and you're telling me at 6. So after that, they were taking my information. When you're due? I was like, oh, I'm overdue. Like, oh, okay, then, yeah, you're in labor. You're starting labor already. I was like, yes, probably. So in my head, they told me, you want to get the epidural? I was like, is there still time? Because they told me I was already 6. So I was not sure if I was going to get the epidural or not. And after that, they told me that they were going to take me to the other room if my partner was there, or if anyone of my family was there with me. I was like, yes, my husband is outside. Can you guys call him? Because I just want to cry. I just want to cry. And they're like, yeah, right now we're going to take you to your room where you're going to be delivering the baby. I was like, okay. I waited right there in the other room. And while I was in the other room, I was having some really much more pain. So I was telling them like, oh, I need my husband to be here. So they called him. They went looking for him. They brought him to the room, and then like, oh, here's your husband. And I like, hold me, give me your hand. And he's like, yeah, you're doing great. And he was just like on my side, telling me you're doing great. You're, that's bien, and like stuff like that. And I was like, give me your hand. Just be quiet. Just give me your hand and just be quiet. So I was just like squishing his hand while I was having this baby, this beautiful baby. And what was more? What was going on? So I was not even an hour right there in the house in that room when they checked my cervix again. Like, oh, we're gonna check your cervix. I told them, oh, I want to like pee. Like I want to pee already. And they're like, oh, pee. You want to pee? Like, want me to check your cervix? I was like, yes, please. Like, check my cervix. Check my cervix. So they told me I was in an already in an 8.5, almost to 9. That I wanted, if I wanted the doctor to come and bring my bag, my water bag, I was like, yes, please, yes, please. The doctor took for a little time, a little bit of time, not like much, not you, probably like 5 minutes, like 5, 10 minutes long. I'm not too sure about the minutes because I was like having so much pain. He came. He's like ripped my water and he ripped it. I'm having to burp. So after that was I was already at 9. He checked me. He's like, "Oh, you're already at 9." I was like, "I just want to push. I just want to push." And I was saying the nurses and I was telling the doctors like, "I'm pushing, like I'm pushing." Your My body was like, wanting to push, and I pushed. I think one time, or I'm not sure how many. I pushed, and I told him, I'm pushing." And the doctor that delivered my baby was the superest, nicest doctor that I had it for the labor and delivery, because he's like, yes, just push. If you need to push, just push. I'm here ready. So push. Your body's gonna do what it has to do. And so I pushed 2 times, and it just came out. Baby just came out. Just because it was like kind of hard in getting dilated. I didn't like dilated so much, but Tuesday it was like you're 6. I don't know where I just went to 8.5, and I don't know where I went at 9 in less than hours. And then I had her at 4:30. I had her already. She was born at 4. So at 4 I had her, and I was getting cold. I was shaking. I was super cold, shaking of the room. Her temperature was going not so well. She was cold as well. Her temperature. They had to put her 2 blankets. So they put her two blankets, and they put me 2 warm blankets on top of the blanket that I already had. I had a blanket on top of me, and they brought me 2 more blankets, warm, like super warm, just because I was shaking. I was like, I'm not sure what was that. That was the first time. And then before I even, oh, I forgot to mention, before I was, before they checked my how you say my cervix, I vomit. I was like, girl, why did I vomit? So that was the first time of vomiting. I vomit. I don't know where. I just like, I told the doctor like, hey, I just want to vomit. I want to vomit. So they brought me like the thing really quick, and I vomit. I don't know where to vomit. And I was like, is this normal? Is this something that it's okay, or what's going on? And they're like, yeah, when you're in labor and delivery, there is women that vomits in their pregnancy, in their active labor. And I was like, well, this is the first time that happens. So labor and delivery was fast. It was, you could say, less than 2 hours. I was in the hospital and I just gave birth. I was surprised. So around that, they took us to the room where I was gonna stay for a couple days. I stayed a day, a night, you could say. Tuesday, I stayed, for her 24 hours until Wednesday. And Wednesday, I got, She's sleeping so good. Some Wednesday I got out from the hospital. We came home. It was so much better. Sleeping in bed, having the kids. The kids were super excited. They were like, "Yes, the baby's home. The baby's here." So we're gonna put her on social media after a couple of days, just because I just wanted to wait a little bit more and enjoying myself with her, having her by myself and everything. I'm taking lots of pictures of her, like right now that she's newborn. I'm taking lots of pictures. I'm enjoying her much more than what I enjoyed my two kids, my first two kids. This is my third child after 6 years. You could say Johnny turned 6, and 6 years. It was like, wow, it took a long time. So I'm enjoying her more, like super, super more. She sleeps like so much. And right now, I'm gonna finish the video by saying thank you so much, whoever supported me a lot throughout this pregnancy, that was there for me, and so much more. Everybody that was there with me, you know, that knows I suffered 2 miscarriages. It was hard, this pregnancy. I was tired. I was suffering from really bad back lower back pain that I couldn't take it a little bit longer. But thank God she is here. She was born healthy. We're okay. A week postpartum, you could say, and hopefully everything goes much better, because that's what we all wish for. Oh yes, another thing. The baby had her first doctor's appointment. It was yesterday, Monday. It was a day before she turned a week, and she gained her weight. So she weighed 7 pounds 11 ounces, and she got her weight back. Although she dropped in the 24 hours, she did drop. So she went well, like really well with the weight. Though less than a week, she got her weight back. She's been eating so much. She does eat an ounce, 2 ounce, and sometimes she does take some pauses, like an hour, and eats another ounce, and then another pause, and she eats another ounce. And sometimes there is this time of hour that she just wants to eat the 2 ounces, so she does eat the 2 ounces, or the full 2 ounces. So it just depends what she wants. But she's a chubby little baby, like chubby, chubby, chubby. From length, she is the long one that I had right now. She was 20 and she is 20 right now. Yesterday they took her lane and she's 20. So she is a long baby that I had in my belly. Remember? You the long baby? But yes, I'm gonna leave you guys. Thank you so much for watching this video and being with me, and hopefully I see you guys, in the next video, showing her off much more than what I'm showing right now. Thank you. I see you in the next time. Bye.